Oh, hey, just finishing up a little bit of paperwork here. Give me 1 second. Mhm. And done. Paperwork's done. Job's all done. Hi, welcome to the Superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about precision in my basement. Yep. So yesterday was a really good day. It was a little bit cold, but the girlfriend and I still managed to put in our garlic. So this is the time of year. This is almost near the end where about the latest you really want to plant it around here, anyways, because you can start getting snow. We had a little bit of snow on Saturday. Saturday was a bit of snow and a little rain. It was miserable, so we didn't feel like planting the garlic then, but we got it all in. 400 bulbs of garlic. So there we go. And what I was doing here is not just some fancy prop, but it's kind of it's what our garden sort of looks like. Well, where are we here? Every year I make a little map, and it's important to do that when you're planting your garlic, because we have two different kinds of garlic, porcelain and rock and bowl is what it's called. So the garlic, when it's popping up in the spring, you don't really know what kind it is unless you make yourself a little map. And if you're growing multiple types of tomato plants too, what kind of tomatoes popping out there? I don't know. And then if you want to save the seeds for the next year, what are you planting? You don't know. So yeah, it's important for your documentation, being your paperwork, your gardening paperwork's important to finish up. And I was also thinking yesterday, it was a little bit cold, so we just kind of wanted to wrap things up and okay, get it in the ground, good enough. But then we also had, because we got some bags of leaves off of other people, we put the leaves over top of the garlic afterwards for mulch, and keeps the weeds down too in the spring. So we had to fold up all these bags because we'll give them back to the people that gave us the leaves. And so it's like, yeah, I got this flashback to when I was a first year apprentice as a machinist. And in the machine shop, we would do, well, to be an apprentice, you have to do so many hours in class and then so many hours on the machines that are at the college. And then you have to have, so many work hours for an employer as a registered apprentice. So the first year we were just kind of, I don't know, just kind of finishing things up, drilling our holes and doing this and that and joking around like machinists do. And so this one guy, he's about to leave the machine shop, where the lathes and the mills and the grinders are and stuff. And the teacher, the supervisor, or the teacher, Bob Clark was his name. I don't even know if he's alive anymore. Probably not. But Bob is a nice guy. And so Bob said to the guy, like, "Hey, you're not done." And he says, "Yeah, I'm done. Here's my part. I made it here." And then he says, "Oh, you got metal chips on your machine. You got to clean that off." And the guy thought, "Oh, I thought they got janitors to do that here at the school." And he's like, "No, we don't. Clean it up." Okay, so then the guy goes back, cleans up the table, so it's ready for the next people to use. And then he said, "Okay, yep, I'm all done." And then Bob said to him, "No, you're not. You still got all that stuff on the floor. You got to sweep the floor." So everybody was just kind of like overhearing this, because we weren't really, we're first year apprentices, so we don't really know much about much. So, okay, so everyone was cleaning up. And then, so that was one of the things that Bob said, was that, hey, you're not done until the cleanup's done. And I was like, okay, boom, that stuck in my head. So I was saying that yesterday after planting garlic. Well, it's not done until the cleanup's done and all of your tools are put away where you're supposed to put them back. Like, you'll notice that machinist toolboxes, they'll be like, "Hey, where can I get my utility knife?" Right here. Yeah. It's like, where's your micrometers? Oh, right here. Every machinist knows where all their stuff is at all times. And you keep an organized toolbox. And yeah, you keep an organized toolbox. and it helps you stay precise about machining things to very specific tolerances. And so, yeah, so you're not done till you're all cleaned up and things are put away, tools are in the right place. The rake is hung up on the wall. My special little poker tool to make holes for the garlic, that's stuck up in the rafters till next year. So there we go. And paperwork, that's another thing there too. Paperwork's done now. I forgot to do that yesterday. So and so, being as this is the superpilotish channel, there's a lot more paperwork in aviation than for the average worker guy than you would think. But actually, I'm going to go back to the paperwork a little bit more. So at this one machine shop that I worked at, which shall remain nameless, it at the end of the day, all the guys would get together and they say, okay, machines are all cleaned up, everything, tools are put away, just about to leave. And then everybody says, okay, time to fill out your lie sheet. I'm like, lie sheet? You said, yeah, that's a piece of paper. You lie about how long it took you to do the job. It's like, okay. Well, it turns out those sheets are lie sheets. I found out at this other shop that there was, I was trying to be, I guess, like a newer employee there at this other shop, which shall remain nameless. And so the machines there were just all beaten up and old, and the tools would chatter, and it would just be a mess. And you have to slow things down and add extra clamps here and there. And it was not, they didn't maintain the machines very well. So, but you do the best you can to get the paycheck, right? So, filling out my lie sheet at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's if I made, 7 parts, okay, well, I made 7 parts. They're expecting 8. I made 7 parts. Good enough. And so what happened at that point was, hey, JLM, JLM, space M. Hi. Yeah, so I was filling out my sheet. I'll be honest about it. Okay, yeah, I did this much, and it took me 15 minutes to sweep up the chips after the shift. And then so these other guys, the foreman started saying, "Well, what are you doing all this time?" And I'm like, "I'm having troubles with this machine. You can only make this many parts." And he says, "Well, these other guys are doing okay." But what I found out, what all the other guys were doing is they would look at the blueprint and they'd say, "Okay, this part should take 4 hours to make." So even if it took them 5, they would say, "Okay, I did an hour of machine maintenance, an hour of cleanup." And so all the numbers all matched up. Okay, it's supposed to take 4 hours. How long did it take them? 4 hours. All right, great. Paperwork, all the numbers all match up and everything. But the thing is, the company's losing money on that. So, I mean, or what I was thinking was, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie like everybody else. I'll be Mr. Honest Employee. And then those smart managers in the office will take a look and they'll see and they'll ask me, what's wrong? And I'll say, this machine's not good. And they'll say, oh, okay. Then they'll go out and they'll improve the manufacturing process to make it even more efficient and then make the workplace better and make the owner more money. Yeah, good employee. No, I got fired. So it's like, that's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, they just like paperwork. Sometimes the paperwork just has to kind of match up. That's the real world for you. That was weird. That was funny too, because I got fired there. And by the time I stopped by this other machine shop on the way home, I still had the toolbox in the back of my car, and I was like, "Oh man, I got fired." Well, I'll stop by this machine shop over here on the way home and see someone else I know that works there. We'll see what they're up to, see if they're hiring. So I walk in there, and ended up foreman was there. I said, "Yeah, I just got fired from over here." And he says, "Oh, you want a job? You got your toolbox with you? We'll set you up here. We'll start you here right now." I was just like, no, man. Like, I didn't even get home from work and I got another job. So it's like, I'm like, yeah, give me the weekend to blow off some steam and I'll see you on Monday. Okay. Then there we go. That's the way it. So, yeah, honest paperwork can get you fired. But Uh, in aviation, not really so much. They do want to see the honesty there. Like, for example, with well, I guess in general with the paperwork for the aviation stuff, it's that generally, if everything's going fine, paperwork could be a little late. Like my little garden, my little garden map. I was a little late. No, and nothing. It's not the end of the world. But the problem is that if there's ever an accident when you're flying and your paperwork's not up to date, you're in a whole heap of trouble. And you better have paper to show people. Boom. Insurance company, here's the paper, here's proof. Like you might have just like made it up or something. But they see the paper, it has to be right there. So for example, are you flying? One way to save your bacon on that is if you get uh, you know, some kind of accident or incident where the insurance company has to get called, and usually at flight schools they'll have you have to have proof that you calculated the weight of your aircraft and the location of the center of gravity. That you teach if you're a pilot, you learn how to do that right away. And so if you say, "Yep, here's the weight and balance report for the airplane. I was not overweight, blah, blah, blah." Okay, cool. You're covered. If you are overweight, you are no longer operating, or the center of gravity is too forward or aft. You are no longer operating an airworthy airplane, and you're doing that knowingly, and no insurance company is going to cover you. So, what you got to do is, yeah, even something like that. But if you have your own airplane, it wouldn't hurt to do that yourself. And usually guys never do. But yeah, if there's something happens, a little precise paperwork can help you out with that, and making sure that your journey log is up to date, the tech logs are all up to date, your personal logbook is up to date. A lot of people don't fill that out, and at the end of the year, they go, "Where did I fly? I don't know." So, hey, hell, then they start calling people up. Remember that trip we took? How long did it take us to fly from there to there? I've heard of that happening. The insurance company wants to know how many hours I have. So yeah, the so paperwork is precision in paperwork is important. And then I'm also thinking there too is the idea of organizing your life, and maybe you can't be perfect. No one's perfect, but I mean, you can't be perfectly organized all the time. It'll drive you nuts. Drive me nuts, anyways. I'm a pretty easygoing dude, but it's like if you are, uh, and that was one of the things is like before I got into being a machinist, I was like, I had jobs, delivering prescriptions and stuff, and I'm like, here you go, grandma, here's your here's your drugs, and then like, oh thanks for the cookies. The old ladies, they always give you cookies when you deliver prescriptions to them. But then they also, if you're tall like me, they expect you to change the light bulbs. But that's okay. Um, yeah, so I was just kind of like, here's your stuff. Drive around. No one looking over my shoulder. You're going a little too fast. Who cares? But then once you get into the machinist world, it's like, oh, this is important. One little oops, and you can really cost the company a lot of money. And then that kind of goes for flying too, is that there has to be a certain amount of precision in that to be able to fly well and organize yourself. Like, so that's why when I went to flying college, we were required to have like a dress shirt, tie, haircut to airline standards, no jeans, dress shoes, no running shoes. And so you had kind of like a informal uniform, I guess. But at first, I kind of thought it was goofy, and then I could see, well, the guys who started up the program originally were ex-military, so and when the military is saying make your bed, and it has to be made perfect, then well, that's to give you for it's kind of to create in your mind everything that there's an attention to detail that you have to pay attention to detail that you have to pay attention to, and so. I would say even doing your paperwork and being fastidious about that, well, that can help you be a better gardener, better pilot, better machinist, a better liar if you're in a machine shop. But that's a skill too, you know. Yeah, so it's just kind of like, eh, keep your paperwork up to date the best you can, and always try to have a little bit more precision in your life and organize things. And in the long run, it's everything goes smoother that way. You might think, say for a machinist, you might think, oh, I'm in a hurry. I'll give the table a quick clean, and then I'll throw the piece of metal on there. I'll mill it really fast, pop the holes in there, and I'm out of here. And then it's like, well, if you're thinking about, I will just do this fast, you're always going to get caught. And every machinist has done it where the table has to be absolutely perfectly clean, nothing on it. Like, not, I don't know, something that's thick as like this little cue card, this little, what do you call it, index card, piece of paper. You know, if you have something in a vise and something's off by like just the thickness of a piece of paper, you could scrap something right out. You know, it's like, oh no, it's tapered now. Oh, it went undersized. So it's like, you got to make sure that that little tiny little metal bit is gone, you know. And so precision, and it's always helpful. So, and then the other thing is, if you screw that up, now you got to redo the whole part again. Go over to the saw, cut a new piece of metal, send it to that guy to have him do his thing, and then you get it next. And now you just cost the company even more money because you were too lazy or not precise enough to go like, oh yeah, that's clean. There's no, you know, get a rag. Yeah, okay, that's clean. That's all it takes. But if you're skipping that in a hurry, you could redo a whole part. So, anyways, yeah, I was just kind of thinking about, you're not done until your tools are put away. But I figured I'd add on to that. The job's not done. The job ain't done. I made it a little bit more colloquial there, but the job ain't done until the paperwork's done. So that's about it. I am going to take a look through some some of these comments here. If I see any questions, feel free to throw questions at me anytime. That's ideally what I want the channel to be like. Because, hey, Mr. Pilot, what do I do with this? And then you get to talk to an expert. Okay, what do we got here? So JLM, honest paperwork gets you fired. Okay, I saw that before. Just summarizing. Shecky's here, great. And hey, Jordan. Okay, Jordan might have left already. I'm not sure, but thanks for popping by. And what else we got here? Yep. JLM knows what he's talking about. And Chad Elkins, CPA, he popped in to say that this guy's so awesome. Thank you very much, Chad. You're awesome too, man. And yeah, Chad has he's got a little live stream that he does. You can check out the Chad Elkins CPA channel. If you want to know anything about accounting and stuff like that, Chad, you can email him and he'll answer your questions and stuff. And so yeah, Chad's I'm glad you came by, Chad, and hope maybe I'll see you on your live stream. So, you know, today's Monday. I think Chad usually does his shows on Tuesday night, but check out and subscribe to his channel. And here we go. That is about it for today. All right, cool. So today is Monday. So that means I'll have to be back Wednesday and Friday, because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And thanks for wishing everyone a great day. Shecky Pavel, you guys have a great day too. And here we go. Let's see. Oh, you know, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, like and subscribe. That's what all those YouTube guys are supposed to say, right? Like and subscribe. Okay. Yeah, we'll shut her down here. So thanks for watching. Bye.